The old movies.
Okay, it is 6:34 p.m. on February 19th, 2024. I'm officially calling this meeting into session. We have one item. This is a resolution, the creation of 2 new full-time police officer positions and the appointment of 2 full-time police officers in the Village of Hoosick Falls Police Department. I am going to read the whole thing just to have it on the record. Whereas the Village of Hoosick Falls Board of Trustees finds that it is in the overall public interest to create 2 new full-time police officer positions in the Village of Hoosick Falls Police Department, and whereas the Village of Hoosick Falls Board of Trustees desires to appoint 2 Village of Hoosick Falls police officers who are currently employed as part-time officers to the full-time police officer positions. I'm going to change that. It should read both as created. As created hereby, and the rest is an old draft that I forgot to delete. So it should say both as created hereby. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls in regular session duly convened as follows. 1. The Village of Hoosick Falls Board of Trustees hereby creates 2 new full-time police officer positions in the Village of Hoosick Falls Police Department, effective immediately. 2. The Village of Hoosick Falls Board of Trustees hereby approves the appointment of James Waters to the position of full-time police officer in the Village of Hoosick Falls Police Department at the pay rate of $22.50 an hour. The hiring of James Waters as a full-time police officer is subject to the terms and conditions of the Village's collective bargaining agreement with the police union, including but not limited to service of a probationary period in accordance with Rensselaer County Civil Service rules. Number 3, the Village of Hoosick Falls Board of Trustees hereby approves the appointment of Jasmine Salgado to the position of full-time police officer in the Village of Hoosick Falls Police Department at the pay rate of $22.50 an hour. The hiring of Jasmine Salgado as a full-time police officer is subject to the terms and conditions of the Village's collective bargaining agreement with the police union, including but not limited to service of a probationary period in accordance with the Rensselaer County Civil Service rules. The foregoing resolution, I need to have someone offer it. Thank
So they
you.
have to go back to a probationary period after they become full-time?
As a full-time officer, they would be serving a probationary period, yes.
6 months, is it?
Yes. I think so.
That'd be up to the union,
Officer
right?
Hudson just called me. Give me one moment. I need someone to second it before we discuss it further. Okay. Alright. Let me just call.
Didn't hear the
Call
whistle
John
go
Hudson.
off.
That's, I know they're on drill now. I mean, this isn't the normal 6 o'clock drill
Ambulance going
time.
up that way.
John's calling me now.
Is that,
Hang
is
on,
that police?
I'll put
That's
him in,
fire,
he's calling
right?
me. Hey, John.
I think that's fine.
Hey, I'll be there in a minute. I'm on Hill Road.
Oh, that's fine. We're in the meeting right now, so we're
Don't
all
rush.
good. Don't rush. You're okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
All
Sean.
right, bye.
All right. So we have the resolution offered by Deputy Mayor Ryan and seconded by Trustee Alter. Any further discussion, questions?
I just have one question.
Sure.
Say one of our full-time officers quit, just
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Or moves on or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. So we would then still have, the position still stay full-time even if the person leaves.
Because
It's not based on
we're
the person.
creating
Yes.
2 new positions.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
past, when I put the historical information together, we created 2 positions and we hired Officer John Hudson and Officer Corey Wagner as full-time
Right.
officers. When Officer Wagner left and moved on to another agency full-time, that position stayed open. And then we hired both Officer Fisher and we created a 3rd full-time position and we hired Officer Warner. He moved into the Sheriff's Department. That was open. We recently hired Officer Alexonis as a full-time officer. And by creating these 2 positions, that now creates 5 full-time positions.
Good, that's good.
So, yeah, it's something we've been talking about since the beginning. And one thing I wanted to say, I did consult the UPSEU contract. If by chance I am incorrect with the pay rate, it's based on the fiscal year and it's based on the years of service. If I'm by chance off, it'll be adjusted accordingly, and I'll make sure that that's on the record.
Okay.
Just because there's a difference between $1 an hour between the certified / first year of service, and then there's 2 years of service, and then there's 3 years of service. So I think that one of these officers was initially hired 2 years of service. Was initially hired in July of 22 and sent to academy. That means, I think, that in July of 24, he would
Go to the 2 year.
he would be he would have completed 2 years of service, and that would be up to the next level.
Okay.
But I will consult the UPSEU on that, and if there's any issues with the union, and we can certainly discuss that. But I just wanted to make sure that was on the record.
In the email trail going back and forth, or I should say text, I don't know what it was.
That's fine.
It's all a blur.
Yeah, text is like 4,000 text. How much, Dan referenced like $17,000 for the per, that seems like an
Insurance
awful
costs.
high insurance
There's
cost.
there's a range depending on if you're single or if
Sure.
you are a family insurance. I don't have those figures off the top of my head now. I know we have different officers and different levels of insurance at this point right now.
What do you mean say different levels of insurance?
Like
Because some
if they're
family
if they're
versus-
just single insurance, or if they're married, or if they have a kid or multiple.
Right,
kids.
right, but still, the cost is still, their percentage is still the same, correct? It's still 75-25, no matter what the plan is.
That is my understanding.
Yeah.
I would have to check the contract.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Hey there, we're in a meeting, but you're fine to come in and join us. We have the resolution for both officers here, and we're just reviewing further discussion before we vote on it. So good timing. Actually,
Dad is, he was supposed to pick you up.
Officer Hudson, you may know this as a member of the union. What is the percentage pay for officer versus village in terms of, like, let's say it's a $10,000 insurance plan? Is it 75-25? Is it solely village? Do you know off the top of your head?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. He's
You don't
pretty
know.
confident it's 25-75, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is too.
Yeah, cause I know.
Excuse me.
But so we have to figure that into our cost when we're doing the budget. as
Right,
well.
that's a budget calculation.
That and
stuff,
the
Yes,
salary.
and we'll be able to figure out, since it's full-time, it'll be 40 hours a week, we'll be able to figure out what the hourly rate is starting on the fiscal year. If by chance anybody bumps up after their second year or 2 years of service is complete, that sort of thing. So we'll definitely figure that out.
Because we just need to know how much we're gonna.
Yep.
Which scares the ever loving out of me. I don't know where are we gonna come up with the extra money.
Well, I'm doing the budget process differently this year, and the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a spreadsheet of salaries, proposed salary increases, and in the past, reading the budget sheet, it's a little bit confusing because let's say somebody gets $50,000 a year as a salary, just a square number. Some of that's going to come out of water, some of that's going
Sure,
to come out of
it's
sewer,
split.
some of that's going to come out of general.
Right.
There's a percentage, but it's hard to figure that out. So I'm going to create a separate page within the budget that will list out the salaries,
The
and
total
will list
salary,
out the
not-
percentages,
right.
and then those in Excel will tie into the Excel spreadsheet, just so it's a little bit easier for us
To
to see and the
follow,
community
right.
see. Yeah, and that will also allow me to do a breakdown of, like, here's our projected police, payroll for the year based on these many officers, these many shifts, that sort of thing, and then we'll go from there. But
It's
I'm going
kind
to
of-
start with that and then adjust. Yes.
I always thought it was odd that you take money out of your water and sewer for police.
That is because police actively will check on water and sewer infrastructure.
Yeah, but that's stretching it for,
In terms of the percentage of the what they do, it's probably a stretch, but we have reviewed that with NICON to make sure we're not doing anything shady, and they've said it's fine to do that. A lot of times we'll actually increase sewer because we tend to do better money-wise in sewer, but also that was one of our biggest crime situations was when somebody stole sewer equipment. How many years ago was that?
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
Somebody stole sewer equipment.
they stole some stuff over at the sewer plant. Yeah,
Sewer treatment plant.
I'm
it was
interested,
expensive too.
I'm interested to see how our water stuff looks this year,
Me too.
too. Yeah,
with that increase.
yeah. So I'm gonna get a lot done this week with the week off on budget prep, and I'm gonna try to do things in steps and get some information out to you guys.
Thank you.
Sounds like some great things are going on downstairs. So any more discussion regarding this?
No.
All right, hearing none, I will do a roll call vote. Trustee Alter,
Yes,
Trustee O'Malley,
yes.
Trustee Shuddig is not present. I did forget to say for the record that Trustee Sauer had sent an email saying that he was supporting the resolution. So trustee Sauer is absent. Trustee Walreed,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Ryan,
Yes.
and I am also a yes. So the resolution passes. Anything else for the agenda, or are we ready to close the meeting?
I don't have anything else.
All right, would you like to make the,
I certainly would.
make the,
Make a
motion
motion
to
to
adjourn?
close the meeting.
All right, need a second?
Second.
Megan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed or abstentions? All right, meeting closes at 6:44 PM.